And comments, the honourable member for Malpeque.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to congratulate the member on his remarks. I think he's made a lot of good points, which outlines how sustainable the OA system is, as is. In fact, it was looked at when the Canada Pension Plan Liberals made Canada Pension Plan sustainable, and it was found to be sustainable at that time. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. You know, I think the government, I'd ask the member this, the government is really trying to create a false argument here by turning to demographics and going to the war of the ages. It's because they've got their priorities wrong. That's why they're trying to use this to extend the age to 67. And the previous speaker talked about, you know, no one over 54 will be affected. But isn't the fact true, I asked this member, those that are under 54? Those that are under 54, this could be considered grand theft from those that are under 54 because the government has its priorities wrong, and this is really stealing money out of the pockets of those that are now in the working generation under 54.
The honourable member for Scarborough Southwest.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the member for Malpeque for his question. As to the language used as to what this means, I mean, I started off my speech by saying hosed. The member is saying grand theft. There's all kinds of colorful language that we can use to describe it, but the fact of the matter is that in 2 years, going from 65 to 67, Canadians are going to lose $30,000 if they rely on OAS and GIS because, Mr. Speaker, of course, the gateway to GIS is through OAS. So if you raise the age for OAS from 65 to 67, then as a consequence, Canadians will not be able to access their GIS until they're 67. So yes, it certainly does impact Canadians under the age of 54. And I got to say, Mr. Speaker, just because you're under the age of 54 now doesn't mean that when you go to retire at 65, if you've been working a tough, labor-intensive job, that you're going to be any better off or somehow better able to cope with that and work for 2 years longer.
Questions and comments?